Hello everybody and welcome to VP taking on Hard Legion. Sorry for getting into the pistol a little late. We had a tech bug I had to fix at the last second, but now we're ready to go. And look at Sanji down below, taking out Crad and looking for a little bit more. Looks like that's where things are going to end. As the 1-for-1 trades go down, Hard Legion on the attacking side have got themselves a little bit of an advantage to go with, and not committing towards that B site, which is important because VP have heavily rotated.
Yeah, I don't know how long they're going to want to keep this rotation in place, or rather this stack in place. They might try and get a peek in and see what info they can find about the current positions of Hard Legion, who for now are still mostly favoured on towards this B side of the map. I mean, they have one player coming back down connector to actually join up with them, and we're looking for the boost for a moment to see what they could find. But at this point, the decision has to be made. With only 30 seconds remaining, they need to get moving on towards one of those bomb sites, and it is going to be back towards A. But hang on, Kickard is here now to help Jame. They have a smoke as well to try and hold this down. And there's 20 seconds. This is just going to be such a big issue. If the bomb gets dropped at all, then they're probably going to run out of time at that point. Jame has just been tapping away. Eventually is given the chance to get that kill up on Kinky. I believe Forrester even getting blinded by his teammates' flash. And eventually as he goes forward, going down, the bomb even dropped him behind the bomb site now. So it was literally impossible from that point forward. Mitch Buster and they're trying to help them by cleaning up. And there it is, VP. They pick up the opening pistol round, despite actually seeing a strong opening into it as well from Hard Legion. They kind of just slowed it down, waited till time got low, and ran it back A. It's not like they were being unpredictable either. They were being very noisy around connector and such.
Yeah, stepping around like animals. Dean, I'm still recovering from that little tech bug. I thought we were going to be like super late getting into the game there. But we're good. The HUD is a hard beast to master.
If you had left the HUD, we would have got loads of stuff for leaving the HUD with whatever issue.
Oh yeah, it was just glitches everywhere, but we're good now. Look at that Hard Legion's logo, VP's logo, everything's looking good. I'm a happy man. I'm just waiting for something to break because I haven't had time to check it again since the fix. Something else is probably broken, but if it is, it is. What can you do? Let's talk about the game a little bit. VP walking into this round versus a force buy. We talked about the CIS region force buys the other day. Hard Legion, not a team that hit it quite as frequently as the likes of Gambit youngsters do, but they've still gone in for their full deagles, their Kevlar and a helmet on everyone except for Rage. And these players can do a lot of damage. You're looking at Kinky, Crad. They put up figures in the past. Crad's carried me a few times anyways.
Must have been really trying in those games. Trying to float to the ZB9 right now. Oh, those deagles can do some pretty good damage if the wallbangs were to be hit, but not able to be. Dren is going to push in towards the bathrooms, which is probably smart as you see most of them then focusing around short. They left the bomb. That was the bomb alone in the hands of Forrester right there. He goes down and Dren comes back in, takes out Kinky and leaves it all on Crad. He's not going to be able to do a lot about this one. Maybe it's just because you aren't side by side with him, Mitch, but yeah, 1-on-4 was pretty difficult anyway. You weren't expecting much more from that position. But VP, they overcome that force buy. They do so in a convincing fashion. They give themselves the chance, obviously, in this round to just go up against an eco. Okay, I wasn't sure if my internet dropped or if I just dropped from GoTV there. That was weird.
We're all good. For Hard Legion, it's very odd as well that they sent the bomb solo through the toilets. Considering on a buy like that, you know VP are going to have SMGs, right? And that's where they play those closer toilet angles and try to catch you off with those pushes, especially when the smoke has already been thrown down through the toilet doors. It was really surprising that they left themselves completely open to that. But either way, it was every kill pretty much going VP's way. As you see the same here, SMGs farm a little bit of cash. There's no armor on the Hard Legion side. They've got a couple of pistols, a small bit of utility, but all that investment was for naught. Not a single point of damage comes through, and it really isn't that surprising. This is where things matter. When Hard Legion finally get out the full buy, Glass Cannon op is oh no, not even Glass Cannon. Rage has been able to buy one up. Of course, he didn't buy the armor in the Deagle armor round. A little bit extra cash.
Yeah, not a bad find, especially when you know you're up against Jame, who 99% of the time is going to have the op out as early as he can find it. He is a man who loves it. But yeah, the pause in at the moment, they, I guess, realize how important this opening gun round is. Wouldn't be a technical or anything along those lines, so they must be just like, guys, okay, we're coming into the opening gun round. Have a little bit of a chat. We know how important this round is. If we get it, of course, at that point, we start building up rounds early on. If not, we're going to be probably at that point going down quite massively before we get another attempt at a gun round. And with this being the map choice of Hard Legion, obviously that isn't something that they can afford to happen. So yeah, The pause came in. It is now gone. The buy, as you said, is going to be really good. Rage gets the up. He gets the Kevlar. All the nades behind it, thanks to not investing up in that previous round. So they're not really lacking at all. So whatever they could have in mind right now, they should be able to attempt. And I mean, especially with a couple weaker weapons being kept in play for VP as well, this is a good opportunity for them to try and get on the board early on. The only issue is it is still a bit of a bonus round for most of the VP players as well.
This is the first time I'm seeing the Hard Legion lineup without Speedak. I mean, he was always such a pivotal part of it that I'm excited to see what Rage can do. He's got big boots to fill, that's for sure.
Yeah, Rage is good. I remember watching him on Wendigo Academy quite a bit and recall him doing quite a lot back then, but obviously he's against Jame. Jame is a very accomplished player.
Sure, you've got the comfortable riflers, like I was saying, Crad before. He could be in trouble right here, though. Yeah, he's not seeing a damn thing. The boost up came in with the perfect timing. He just come out connector as he walked under the wall. They go up above, and that's pretty much a death sentence at that point.
Apologies, struggling with the throat at the moment. Oh, that is very surprising by Forrester. I guess since they're already in the 3-on-5 out of 4-on-5, he wanted to just see if he could make a play. You also see a Dren push forward on long. I guess the MP9 just not having any fear. Sviat does what he can, nearly transferred over to Sanji. It was actually the op that he did drop, but it's not going to stay down. Sanji retrieves it, gives it back over to Jame. Like, here you go. And it's 4-0. That was a full gun round from Hard Legion. We'd forgive you if you forgot that, because that was a very, very quick round from the first point of contact. Just went in favor of VP.
Now they're forced down to just pistols. The Tech 9s coming out, the Deagles as well. And look, on the T side, it's alright to have a round or two like that where you just get caught off guard by boosts coming through, aggression that you're not expecting. But you do start to lose a little bit of faith if it takes you much longer to connect at least your first gun round or bring them close. If you see, obviously this round here, not too much is expected of them. Anything they get is a bonus, a bomb plant, couple of kills. But if you see the next gun round go so convincingly towards VP, that's when you get scared. Oh, the headshot coming through from Buster onto his own teammate. He does manage to drop the bomb, and that's the important part.
I mean, already 3 players gone from Hard Legion, so it's probably not going to affect them too much, but it just stops them from being able to really do anything. If they still have the bomb in the 2-on-5, maybe they group up, they have over a minute left, creep forward, see if they can catch 1 or 2 players off guard and get a bomb plant. At this point, though, that is extremely unlikely. Especially as Forrester challenges in towards Monster and he doesn't really get the help of Rage. Only now is he going to pop in to see if he can actually output any damage there with that Deagle. And we've got 1. So again, it's not a completely flawless round from VP. But they live with 4 in that. They lived with 5 in 4 in the round before that and 5 before that. So they are just in a fantastic position already where their economy isn't going to be a worry for at least a couple of rounds. They have everything they could need. Back on the buy for Hard Legion, obviously, but it is pretty much the same as that previous investment we've seen from them. Although Rage having invested a bit more into that previous round doesn't get as many nades behind the op, but that shouldn't be too big of a deal.
And this is it. This is the round that matters the most for Hard Legion. If they don't find this, or at least do some serious damage, that's where VP, already massively ahead on economy, walk away with the insanely favored CT side, most likely. It would be 7-0, and if there's no hope for Hard Legion in this one, that's where you gotta realistically expect VP to be reaching around double digits. Boost up again. This time it's expected. 2 players looking at it, but not able to punish. VP are forced back off that angle, but they get the information as 2 players go down towards water. You're expecting there to be some outside monster as well, and they're gonna drop a little smoke outside monster just to keep them back. Caused a little bit of time. Nice shot by Rage. He just flicked off the angle but manages to react back over in a second opening as well.
Yeah, the Molotov's going to stop them from following up on those openings at least, so it does delay. It allows here for Sanji to set himself up to hold down if the push was to come in a little bit later. But for the moment, he is going to be still the sole defender, and they've just routed this back around towards Monsters. Sanji, he's going to need to go huge. Jame has dropped in from heaven. The flash going to be put down, but it's not going to catch Kinky in time. Instead, Kinky finds the headshot as he pops up. Jame doing what he can. Does spot a couple players coming out of Monster, but pretty much gives up then as the bomb starts getting planted. 2-on-4. I mean, they've got money with Adren already pushed up close on short. If he was to catch one of these players moving back, I was going to say that would probably actually be the opening that they needed to go forward. But nah, Adren went down. James gets himself 1 kill, sure, limiting only 3 players of Hard Legion being able to actually survive. But still, at this point, he just needs to save the op. He wants to keep that into the next round. And surprisingly, they do have Crad trying to hunt this down.
And they don't really have the cash. So like, it's kind of fortunate in a way. You would like to remove the op just for that extra investment, but risk reward right now doesn't necessarily pay off. Oh, and they're not going to come up through connect. Okay, I saw them enter in. I was getting a little bit worried. 5-1. Hard Legion answer back. That's what we needed to see from them, because it's not a case of just picking up the odd T round and getting an eco on the back of it. VP have won the first 5 rounds, and the important part of that is convincingly. I think, just thinking back at the scoreboard, what do we have? 4 kills for Hard Legion within the first 5 rounds, which then leaves VP with just an absolute, or maybe 5 actually, now that I see, because they got 4 kills last round. So that, yeah, they had 5 within the first 5 rounds. You can't have that. Look at the amount of money VP have. That's even after having to invest into SMGs and all that sort of stuff and then upgrade afterwards. They are happy as Larry. So for Hard Legion, oh, that nade. That tapped Crad on the face. 39 health after. Not how you want to be starting it out. But they've got to face a couple of buys. At least one more after this one. The things are not looking fantastic. They start with the fast B, but the short players aren't out yet. It's going to be the monster battle that defines it. And Kinky, a little late to react.
Yeah, Kicker somehow a bit quicker on that
Forrester
one.
the bomb.
Only able to get the 1. Yeah, Forrester right now, he had actually pushed in towards the pit with the bomb. They spot the boost. Sviat is doing what he can to recover, but is nowhere near enough. Around the edge of the smoke, Sanji gets his 3rd of the round. Actually, I was going to say 2nd. And he might look to add even a little bit more because it is all on Rage now. He was massive in that previous round in terms of finding them those openings towards B. But now he has to do it while he's the last man standing. Up against 3. The op of JM right now posted up in towards Heaven. Buster on one as well. As he's actually pushed up close. And of course, as you pointed out, the bomb was dropped in. Oh, the timing! Oh, just as he unscoped. That is horrible. I'd be so mad. He looked a little frustrated. He kind of small side-to-side shake. Like,
he's going to have nightmares for weeks about that. That's the last time you see him unscope from an angle now. He'll just be sat here the rest of the game going, no, he will peek me eventually. He's taking down Sanji at least, but saving is the only option at this point. And that is tragic for Hard Legion. A really messy push. To have the first player fall, okay, that happens. A little bit of a slow reaction from Kinky, but as you move onto the site, Forrester, hunting the guy down in mortar, got the kill, but had the bomb. He just gets traded out. Bombs dropped in the open, and they've got all their smokes down. They're like, all right, guys, should we plant default or right sandbags? Or oh, wait, it's in water. And then now they've got to take a fight against the CT side that's primed and ready for this engagement. They're boosting up. There's 2 players also peeking down below. That was a disaster. Doesn't make sense. If you got the bomb, don't push. A little bit of miscommunication.
Maybe he didn't realize. Was it on him initially? Perhaps did he pick it up from the player who had died?
He may have.
Didn't notice as he was trying to try it. That's always a possibility. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't notice if he had it in the beginning there as the push was coming in. But either way, it's not something that should be happening, and definitely has made things even more complicated for Hard Legion. And a game that they're already struggling with a little bit here. They needed to try and get a couple of rounds back-to-back off that previous one. Instead, VP got themselves back into winning ways, and again have managed to kick off this round successfully. It's the op of James to open up around mid, and I believe he spotted at least 2 more players. There was also a lot of knives being made around these positions. So for the moment, they do have a 3-man stack over towards this A side of the map. I believe James is in a position where he could try and help really on either side. I was going to say likely plays as a bait here for Sanji to pop out, but actually catches them boosting over. Sviat will find that aggression from Sanji, taken low at least, that is one positive. But a bit of an opening back in, a 3-on-4 that perhaps they still can recover from.
Yeah, over aggression from VP, no need to continue up, especially as he hadn't been spotted or heard close. That setup was still very much viable with Short being locked down by Adren. But now, Hard Legion have the opportunity. They're leaving the bomb behind, which doesn't make a lot of sense here. 35 seconds. It's not like they're going to go B if they do find contact. They wouldn't have time to go up through short and pick it up. I mean, they're running so low on time at the moment. Why is the bomb behind, guys? What's happening? 25 seconds? Are you going to have time to get the openings and go back? No. I thought Sviat was going back for it, but he's not.
I don't know.
Are they just playing for kills? What is this?
Were they like, I'll go for it, and then we're like, no, we don't have time. I have no idea. This is really weird. Hardly, they're trying to make this as hard as they can for themselves. They're like, we don't need the bomb. They very clearly did need it. And Sviat is just left running away to save his up.
Like
This is strange. This is very, very strange stuff. Our Hard Legion are not looking like this is the map they picked.
They just lost a whole dimension of their push. Their Opera on long was supposed to be swinging in, helping those players to take the fight. And instead, with like 18 seconds left, he has to run all the way back halfway to T-spawn to pick up the bomb. There wasn't even time for him to get back there. Plus, then you're relying on your teammates, 2 of them alone, to open up the site and have it secure for you when you come in and watch the flank. It's just way too much. I don't know what that was.
No, that's going to be a little bit of a tilter for the boys over in Hard Legion. They're bringing in the boost here to see if the op can find an early pick, and it may be possible. There is a player up in heaven. There's also someone jump peeking. The train is going to make it a bit harder for him to spot. Although that jump peek, if it comes in again, would likely to be denied. But now they stopped it. They just used it to get the short info early. Realized that no one was pushed up, and with that have been able to take the control for themselves. And that's the issue with this boost. I was going to say it forces you to give up pretty much all of the map control, but it eventually pays dividends for 1 kill there from Rage. But this position from Sanji, it may not be expected. Oh, Forrester, he's going to be moving in. It looked like he was at least being cautious there. I think he pushed up close on the side. The wall bang, that is perfect. Kinky with the Tech 9 comes in to finish him off as he's distracted, and suddenly it's a 5-on-3. Easily the best position we've seen Hard Legion in. Even a few retrieved weapons, or a couple rifles. The M4 there, of course, for Kinky.
And it's solid stuff for them. VP in a spot where holding down is going to be difficult. They have still got 2 players towards that B bomb site, though, to hold. Kicker? Did he just hear a sound cue? Oh, he definitely knows they're outside. Nade's being pulled. He's ready to swing. Taking contact off of Adren. There's Kickered with 1. Oh, Adren wasn't actually up as high as I thought. He was holding short.
Yes, now moved onto the ramp, rather. Yeah, being spotted by the short players as well. Actually gets dinked down already. Means that up in heaven to do quite a lot of work, but I don't think James is really going to be allowed to. Yeah, ends up losing his teammate down on the bomb site, and now he's even being hunted. I was going to say it's time to save, but Forrester is giving it a go. Only having a deagle, that makes sense. He didn't have anything to really lose. Had a lot more to gain if he could steal the up away, but it's still very likely that'll happen, because look at Sviat. He's going to head and creep his way up behind on A. He seems to have the read, though. Throwing that flash over, at least, didn't go quite deep enough to actually blind up Sviat, but with that, I would imagine being at least somewhat cautious. The thing is, Sviat obviously knows that the flash was thrown from in there, so in theory, he could have just ran in real quick and had him pincered around the spawn. But nah, I think he should be good. The op is going to be saved over. Still enough money behind that as well for VP to buy back in, but they will be beginning to run a bit low on money after this one. There is a chance for Hard Legion if this time they can actually manage to chain together a couple of rounds to start taking some control for themselves, despite a poor start.
Yeah, we'll need to see a little more from them, though, before I start believing in that again. I mean, the mistakes 2 rounds in a row, pushing with the bomb, leaving it behind, then going from one extreme to the other. Let's bring the bomb to them, and then let's just leave it in spawn so they don't get it. But we'll see how they handle this buy round. There's a whole different mentality goes into those ecos, right? When you've got deagles, when you've got armor alongside them and a little bit of util, you're going to be rushing forward, especially Tech 9s, looking for those close range picks, and everybody's sort of moving as a unit. But when the buy rounds have come through, that's the last thing on Hard Legion's mind. Good flash over. Going to push Jane back. And actually all the way to the bomb site, giving up any toilets control. Taking some presence so he can just swing around on the back of that flash, but nothing to be seen. And really, this is on Adren to hold toilets, keep any information in the hands of the CT side. For Hard Legion, good control early on. They do have to be careful, though, because they've given up water down towards B. And that will allow Buster to come on a very early flank up through Connector.
Yeah, as well as, of course, the stack up on the A-bomb site at the moment. They had even boosted JM up to get the high vision from the top of the bomb site. It is eventually the flank of Buster to pounce, but only for 1. Forrester was waiting for it. Despite being taken low, will be able to come out on top of that fight, and Give them maybe some chance now to start clawing their way back into this round. The issue is they're surrounded. There's still a Dren up close. Obviously, he got a kill, so they should be aware that he could still be around this area. And yeah, you see they are watching it. But with only 30 seconds left, it's wasting so much time. And there we go. Pushing forward on long already. Sviat is gone. Forrester was low. Doesn't even make a difference when it's the Oppa Jame to finish him off. And yeah, very quick round coming in the end from VP. A team ace, actually. Everyone contributing. Sharing the frags, sharing his Karen.
I would agree with the stat here. Buster is the impact player in the round, managing to come up behind them like that. See, the door had been blown open down towards connector, or yeah, down towards the B water connector. But once that door is gone, you've got to be very, very careful about a flank coming through. And they'd given up control for a good 30 seconds. At that point, Buster had pushed into water to hold. And instead of leaving him as the B solo holder and rotating the other player up to the A site, he just goes up through Con, gets them on the flank, 191 damage done, basically getting himself 2 kills, making it very easy for his teammates to finish off that second player. And the whole time, Adren was shooting at them from toilets, telling them, I'm here, come get me, focus on me. And Buster comes up behind, destroys them. With that, Hard Legion again showing the flaws on the attacking side, and considering this is their map pick, right? That's not what you want to see, to have that many gaps in the defense, or, well, in the offense in a way.
Very aggressive round so far from VP. Buster, I believe, stopping them from being able to take any short control here, but Adren did push all the way up in connector. Kickert, though, has pushed out Monster as well. Yeah, VP are just so confident with their plays at the moment. Kickert has a fantastic position here that they should at least be clearing if they are to move in. They should know that it's possible someone could have pushed up to this point. Rage is going to be cautious, but he goes down as he comes around. Fortunately, his teammates do trade, but Buster, will he be expected? Yeah, apparently. They had someone coming out with connector as well, so they had a good crossfire to deal with that. Jame not going to be able to connect as he nearly had the opportunity to position around Pillar. But Sanji, I believe, even being spotted now on that flank. None of them are having good times. Eventually, Sanji gets that 1 kill, but now with the Molotov going down, it locks him out a little bit. I was going to say Sviat was low, so maybe there was still an opportunity here for him to make this happen, and it still could be. The issue is he'll have to move through that smoke on short if he wants to go from there, so instead moving around towards Monster. Has a kit, has a smoke that he could potentially put down on that bomb, which is exactly what he's going to do, taking his time with it. 1 player in heaven, 1 back towards Graffiti. Oh, I don't think that landed deep enough. He'd still be able to be seen even if he tries to stick that bomb. So yeah, that didn't really go as he would have hoped, I imagine. Gets the first kill, re-taps it, spots the shoulder of Kinky, and I doubt there's any way Kinky can manage to lose this now. Yeah, he gets it. He gets the kill, but even if he had went down at that point, I believe, and on time already, he had actually gone ahead and won it. So Hard Legion, again, they bounce back with another round. Ideally, they do want to capitalize on actually running the economy down this time. But who knows? They've been struggling the last couple of times. We've only seen those singular rounds from them so far. But they're definitely looking a lot more competitive over these last 5 or so.
The crowd just saved their skin a couple of times, especially taking down Buster, who was coming down below. You could see the player that was close. It was Sviat, I think. Wasn't really watching it, but he swung wide just in case, even after finding that early opening. Dealt with him, and otherwise you could see we saw from Buster's perspective, that spray down would have been handled very easily for a double kill if they weren't aware of it. And with that 3K from Crad, Hard Legion connect the 3rd round, but they do still have a lot more work to do. This T side has been flawed, and at the moment, based on just winning out those aim duels on the aggressed B players, what do they do when VP take a different approach and play that little bit more passive? They're already conceding in towards any A control to get a rotate down and leave a solo holder of Jame. Currently playing in towards long, but he does have to move out of that position fairly quickly in case the T's decide to come through toilets and up behind him on short. And yeah, he falls back. Good. Now, VP haven't been the ones that have been, excuse me, making the mistakes so far. It has been Hard Legion, and with control primarily down towards B, but slowly starting to make something happen on toilets, they're going to try to drag Adren back up to that A bomb site. Jame is very aggressively peeking, though, and not seeing anybody. As the smoke goes down, I would have expected Adren to move, but he stays down with a 4-man B stack, and his kicker falls. This is going to be a rough push for Hard Legion, but they get every single kill. Kinky opening up massively for them.
I was going to say Adren is still here, but now he's also the last man left standing. So as he gets that 1 kill, they do begin to fall back away. They need to be quick, though. Look at the time. Yeah, I think Krad's just coming back down to join them on B. Adren hasn't bothered to rotate because of this, but he's going to go aggressive. Almost lines them up. There's actually a team kill. Krad ended up taking down Rage as he got the frag. It was like in sync right there. If if Crad had a shot even half a second later on his kill on Rage, who knows? Then maybe Rage wouldn't have got the kill. Oh, that was so close, man. Coming down to the 1v1 in the end. The main thing being, though, for Hard Legion is that they get the round. They needed it, and they should find more off the back of it. Look at this. Not a single upgraded pistol from VP. Just a flash being purchased. That is it. It's all they could really afford. And at this point, they're going to be fighting to just try and end this one on 10 rounds. And with how it was going in the beginning, that's a pretty good recovery from Hard Legion. Obviously, still having the opportunity to add even more than the 5th round that they likely find off the back it is. Oh, of course, they stripped up Monster. It's dangerous when you're up against USBs only, but he does win out the fights. It's only dangerous if you go down, obviously, and give over a potential rifle. He did have a teammate ready to follow up nearby as well, I believe. And B's open now with those 2 kills. They don't realize it quite yet, I don't think.
The issue for me looking at how Hard Legion are winning these rounds is both Kinky and Crad have had to find 3Ks in the buy rounds that they're winning. It's just on the back of VP losing those duels, peeking down towards Monster. It's not that the strategies are particularly sublime or anything like that. It's just raw individual skill at the moment that's defining these couple of rounds. Eventually managing to break the money of VP, which should obviously lead to this 5th. But from that point forward, they do need at least one more. And honestly, the point is, if they win one more round, then another weak buy comes out for the final, they could potentially find themselves up on 7. This little flank from Crad. Oh, he might be punished with Sanji on the right. You'd never check that, really, would you? We didn't even see him as he swung around. Such an odd position to hold. Sanji's got an AK. He's bailing out of there, dropping a molly and running.
Yeah, nice little off angle there. As you said, getting himself an AK, which is a big recovery into this next round. Gonna help out their buy quite a substantial amount, actually. I mean, Sanji, I believe, was the one to have the most money, so for him, it helps out, sure. Oh, this is an interesting play. Okay, he's gonna give the AK away. What's he gonna take in return? An MP9. So he's now on an MP9 without Kevlar because he bought the up and dropped it over to James there. Then gave the AK that he had saved over as well to Buster. So now he's left with just an MP9 and no Kevlar alongside a flash. He is also currently the top fragger of 15-7. So this is a weird one.
Not the trade you want at all, but I think he was the only one that could afford an AWP.
I mean, selfless for sure. He gave away an off and an AK.
Definitely. Good guy, Sanji. Well, MP9 no armor on a full buy. It's the first time I think I've ever seen that, Dean. Doesn't happen every day.
I mean, it gives them this op for Jane, which could be massive, especially with how they are looking to play this aggressive right now. But he is alone. He's been spotted. Doesn't quite manage to connect that shot on towards Rage either. So will be forced back from what was this attempted aggression early on. Luckily got that smoke down, otherwise he probably would have been screwed. Just about makes it away. So yeah, for now, just going to be forced to fall back off, retreat towards the bomb site. And in theory, we should see Hard Legion being able to get themselves quite a bit of map control early on in this round. Although, as I said, I realized it has come down to 55 seconds left now, so they don't have a lot of time to make that decision about where they want to end this. And as they are creeping forward, eventually on the B side of the map, Buster gets the open and swings in as well to spot Crad and Connector, and he might look for more Kinkies here. That could be a risky one. It's not really needed. You don't want to give them any openings at this point, and you can see without getting any towards B, the bomb, it is beginning to move back. Okay, it's actually coming back towards Monster again. I believe so. They're going to need Kinky to get this kill, but Buster's still in the exact same spot, and he is yet to be even hit by a bullet. He's taken down 3 of them.
Not worked out too poorly, has it really? Hard Legion might even consider saving at this point. 14 seconds on the board. Well, Sviat apparently isn't. He's going forward straight into the op of Jame, and I don't really see any situation where a positive came from pushing forward in toilets with 8 seconds left. But alright. Now he can't afford an AK. I'm really struggling to get any form of a grasp on what that was about. Also, nice little angle. I think it's Jakey with us today, going down the slide.
Yeah.
First time I've seen that. It's beautiful.
I think me and Hawk had it the last day. We were like, woo!
But no, that was a really weird choice by Sviat. I mean, why the hell would you go forward in that situation? Just an extra AK.
Yeah, I don't know. They are now left with the 1 Mac 10 on towards Crad as well, so they do have a bit of a limited buy coming into this final round and a half. 1 Mac 10 though isn't too big of a deal, especially when you're especially if you can keep pretty much everyone alive coming down to the point when you're going in towards the bomb site. You can have the Mach 10 lead the way. Right now, it's just going to be focused around Connector, where obviously you have a lot of close ranged angles. Buster going forward, Rage. It looked like he was posted up and ready, but no, Buster, the man who got 3 in that previous round, just cannot be stopped right now. They eventually come in and get themselves this control back, and with that, the bomb. But a lot of work being done by Buster before he did go down. Hard Legion going to come in with this boost right now. I don't believe it's been heard. It's not really going to be spotting anyone either, and Sanji is ready to be cautious of it. Oh, this is going to be dangerous. Oh, he's made noise. Yeah, he's about to get peeked. He was seeing Forrester, though, doesn't have time to shoot. They're spending a lot of time on this boost, and with that, only leaving Kinky towards Monster. Okay, it looked like a kill Kicker should have had as he peeked out. Forrester's going to headshot Sanji towards the ramp, and the B-bomb site's gone. Jaren is left alone. Obviously, would have been the final round of the half. There is no saving this time, but this is looking like Hard Legion should be able to salvage out that 6th round. He's not going to expect it on close either. Unfortunately, he doesn't, and there it is. Crad ends off the half. 6 for Hard Legion. They needed to get that recovery here with this being their map choice. They managed to get it done, and now going into the second half, especially if they pick up the pistol round, we could still have a very competitive game between these two. So make sure you stick around, guys. We are, of course, as always, just going to send it over to a quick break here at the halftime.
You put me in the perfect light for, and that's when you can see all my flaws. And I could tell you don't mind that, oh no. You said come a little closer, come here and I can show you. So I came a little closer. You said I'll show you how to love you, how to love you.
And welcome back, everybody, to half number 2. VP on 9 rounds as they start out their attacking side. Hard Legion, despite a really bad start to their T side, they still managed to pull off 6, which is pretty impressive on the back of a lot of individual performances. And one last round where they really got a grip on it, but was it too little too late? It's the question we're here to answer. Things certainly could have looked better for them. As VP look to move in towards the B side early, they've got a good setup for it, but still watching for any mid-aggression and moving up towards top con. So unclear whether this is going to be played out as a fake or not, but Crad will spot a couple of them. He's been seen now, though.
Yeah, but he's still able to find one, tapping away looking for a little bit more. Unfortunately, not able to stabilize those shots in the end. So he will fall, but obviously with that fight having been around mid, it still gives the ability for these CTs to rotate back up in time. In theory, though, VP, they don't have to commit with this, so they could really be still moving anywhere. I do believe one player there being spotted over towards long. Buster, if I'm correct, it's Sanji, who's actually leading the charge with that bomb. Goes down. There's no chance for the quick trade to be found. Instead, VP only now going to be moving back in towards the bomb site. The flashes, they are perfect. Kicker, though, steps into the smoke as he takes the fight, making things a lot more complicated than they would have been otherwise. And it just, destruction. Nice shots by Forrester. That final one, especially, as he was fading away the truck, around the truck. 7 for Hard Legion. They get a crucial pistol to keep themselves in a fighting position in this map. And without the bomb going down, do we just see that one eco from VP is the question? It looks like we might. So far yet to buy, but there's still 2 seconds. They can still buy. Nah, they're going to go for the eco. Makes sense. A P250 for Kickard. Get the rifles out in the next. Obviously, they won't have the op unless they're able to get the bomb plant down, which could maybe allow it to be brought out glass cannon. Other than that, though, it will at least be the AKs that they'd be able to find. And look at Rage. He goes for dual Berettas just to ensure he can pull out the op as early as possible.
Respectable play. We'll see what he's able to do with it. I'd love to see
it's
the dual.
It's cheaper. It's 2 weapons instead of 1. I don't see any downsides.
2 for 1 deal. How can you say no? We'll see if there are downsides. He's holding down in toilets and about to get pushed. Couple of Glocks, so that's all he's up against. No armor. All he's got to do is aim at the body and he should be good.
Yeah, unless 5 of them sprint at him, then he's a bit screwed and needs the headshots. And yeah, there's a few coming around. Bit of a wild spam as he tries to follow up on the second, which you will eventually find. And I mean, 2 kills with the dual threat is not too bad for the investment he actually put into the round. He's given them over. JM is now rocking them. Looking to see what he can find. Was helped out by Sanji. Sanji was the one to actually get that kill initially there as they pushed on. It almost gave them room to get the bomb planted. Unfortunately, not in the end. You've seen the rest of the CTs all just rushing in. So an 8 for Hard Legion, but not bad. 2 kills being found considering there was only $300 investment in that previous round from VP. They can be happy. Now they have the rifles, as I said, they have the nades, they have a pretty solid buy. And there is still 1 MP9 being kept in play here from Hard Legion, and after that reinvestment as well, they don't really have much money left over. Losing this one would put a couple of their players on a double eco.
Well, that's it. They'll be hurting a little bit. The benefit of finding those frags definitely shining through. VP have the chances, but can they follow through on the back of them? Rage has picked up the op and was pretty solid on the terrorist side. We had a couple of really big openings from him when they were coming, when the AWP was coming in. Gonna be a nice slow start to the round. Crad down in the connector, holding on with an SMG, and he looks to peek. Timing would have been bad for him as Sanji just started to push forward. But now swinging on through. He's going to be taken down, but his teammate there with him. Door having been opened by a nade. Forrester's good to get a trade. Trading out 1 for 1 is never ideal on the CT side, especially in a full buy. But the fact that they're able to trade the SMG, I guess, at least works out in an alright fashion.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be kicking themselves too much over that one. The 4-on-4 obviously still not the greatest spot for them to have, but they do have the op here for Rage, and they have a decent setup towards this A bomb site with a 3-man stack already in place once this push starts coming in. And Dren just going to go around through the smoke. There was a little bit of a gap under it, and it's still there. I mean, the feet were easily seen there by Sviat. That was the bomb as well, I believe, that Adrian had in his possession. So that's now dropped over onto the other side of the truck. So that's going to be so difficult to retrieve. Rage gets one more. They've just been completely demolished on this push. They were slowed down, kept in position, and just picked off 1 by 1. That's exactly how that went. Kickard is, at this point, just backing away to save, as you would expect. With 10 seconds, there's nothing really that he can do. VP going to be kicking themselves over that one. As it's 9-9, Hard Legion. They had a very poor start here on Overpass, but they're certainly starting to show us why this is their map choice, why they came in and picked this up against VP.
You got to give the same level of leeway towards VP as we did Hard Legion as well, though. You lose the pistol, second round, take the eco, and then the first buy doesn't go your way. There were a couple mistakes there as well. You can, like we were saying before, that the T side often is like that oven, takes a while to warm up, but once it's going, then you're cooking, and that's what VP are looking to do. A pause even coming through here, but
I think that's kind of what made me feel good about Hard Legion, though, was the fact that towards the end of the first half, they did start actually really recovering.
My only issue with that was that the problems we'd seen from them didn't start to repair. It's not like their spacing was a million times better, or they were put into any strenuous positions. They got 3 opening duels in the space of the first like 40 seconds in 2 of the 3 buy rounds they won. You're obviously going to follow up with those. So if you've got Kinky and Crad winning you rounds like that, well, then when you move through to the CT side, if you get under pressure, when VP start to execute and play those high IQ plays, they're getting up in your face. How do Hard Legion respond? I don't know. Based on that T side, it's hard to really tell.
Hopefully by bolstering up their economy here over these rounds while they have the chance, and just ensuring that they're always going to have those nades and such, and they're not going to be lacking. Because obviously that's going to help you a lot when you're on the CT side to slow down any sort of quick-paced plays that the Ts do want. Was that a nade combined with the spray? Yeah, a little bit unfortunate for Sanji. It did drop the bomb, this time obviously in a position where they can easily retrieve it, so they're not too worried about that one. Obviously, losing a player certainly doesn't help them out, but they will still go forward on towards this B-bomb site together. The Tech-9 actually being the one to lead the way. It forces Kinky back off in towards the pit, but everyone from the CT side has just set themselves up, and eventually with that started fragging, it's Forrester getting himself 2. Jame and Adren, okay, actually going to be able to pull one back each. That could give them room for the bomb plant, but they're looking for more frags. Spotting Crad up towards Heaven. The Molotov is going to delay that bomb from being planted for at least another couple seconds, and the main issue obviously being that Adren is the one who currently has that bomb in towards the pit, so him getting back up onto the bomb site is not an easy task. With 2 towards Heaven and 1 towards the spawn, so I like this. They're going to push together, they're going to try and take that fight against Sviat. The issue is, Jame isn't able to get into position in time before Sviat peaks.
That one's caused them with him being all by himself. They know he was on site just a little bit ago, but didn't see him close. Maybe he started to wrap up through con or something. Problem is they saw the bomb. And with that, they know that if he was going to A, he'd have to have picked it up and moved, and that's just not possible. Right up above, actually just saw Jame on that swing. His teammate's going to come through in CT, and they just both go out together. Well handled by Hard Legion. We're definitely seeing them a little bit more level-headed, more in tune with what we wanted to see, and that makes us start to get rid of the notion of them being, I guess, as hectic as they were in the past half, or having the lack of structure. I mean, this team, obviously minus Speedak, has been together for quite a while, because now they've got Rage on the board. That's changing things up a little bit, but he's fitting into the same role from what we're seeing so far. Certainly an Opper, but the same kind of aggressive Opper, looking for opening duels. And when you do that, it shouldn't really shake your team up too much. And maybe a small adjustment, some small tendencies that he has different to Speedak, but not a whole lot different that you should have to work around.
That's a good find. Again, the advantage goes over to the CT's. Jame, though. Rage has no idea. Oh, Jame has no idea. They've just gone ahead and bypassed each other for them. Oh, my God, they're back to back. Oh, Rage is just going to start running. Oh, yeah, okay. He almost had the opportunity to react to that as well. I was kind of speechless at that point. Yeah, Rage, unfortunately, does end up going down. Bringing it back into the 4-on-4, obviously, at this point. He's seen there was only the one player pushed up aggressively. So that is one positive, but at this point, it doesn't seem to have made a difference because they still rotated back up to A. There's only one man now to defend this B push. They've already crossed over. I don't think he realized, but he is still able to react and get one. Some help from Heaven as well as Fiat drops Buster, so the bomb, although will be planted for VP, when it finally goes down, they do have a man disadvantage. No, never mind, no longer. Crad coming in through connector. He goes down. I was going to say with that, they have the short control to try and play off of the bombs. Fiat over the smoke, though, catching the head of Kicker.
James just straight through the smoke, but he still lands it on Forrester. Oh, that spam so close. The molly. That's going to stop him completely. Sviat, he tapped it. He's not actually stuck it. James gonna hope and pray that that's not a stick. And he realizes now that it definitely isn't, especially as another smoke comes through. He's getting ready to peek on through, but yeah, as he steps, that's going to be it. Sviat just turns and takes him down, and the time is with Hard Legion. They'll get the defuse in 11 rounds on the board, just about.
He had actually just jumped before those steps as well, and you seen Sviat still looking towards Monster. So I was a little bit afraid he didn't hear that, maybe because the smoke blew in, or maybe just because of the bomb ticking away right beside him. But yeah, he ends up getting the kill in the end. 11-9, it was a good start into that round, obviously, for the boys on Hard Legion. Ended up struggling a little bit, closing out in the end and only a one-on-one. So again, don't really get to build up much money for themselves. And as we seen the bomb actually being planted, there is still a really good buy here for VP. They have the op for Jame, they have all the rifles. Nades could be a little bit better, but they do have most of what they need. And obviously, they still have the CTs in a position where losing one round completely decimates their economy. They can't afford to have that happen.
Exactly, just because of those kills coming so close every time. Hard Legion are in a little bit of a rough spot. The pressure on them, the lead they have, isn't guaranteed to stay that way. They looked for some early aggression in towards water, clearing that angle out, making sure no one was there. The door is open at the moment in towards connector. It's been blown off, and that gives Forrester the chance to hold a lot of control from this boost that they've got. It's a relatively passive one. Allows a Dren out through water and up to short if he wants to go. That means that Kinky's kind of got two responsibilities here. He's spotting both Monster and short. And that leaves a gap for Kicker to walk out. Luckily not landing the shot initially. The nade through, going to push him back for a second. Molly down on short to stop that push as well. But the push will eventually come through as Hard Legion have rotated down another player. 4-man B stack the VP are walking right into. Oh, no, wait, they haven't actually. They've left Rage. I thought he was in heaven. He's actually still up on the A side.
Yeah, but I mean, these two CTs in the piss so far are doing a pretty good job at delay and even getting the kills in their favor every single frag. Rage has come back in. He went around towards the spawn to join up instead and give the assistance, and it is destruction. Everyone from VP is gone before they can even really deal out any damage apart from a small bit onto Kinky. 12-9. Hard Legion now with 6 rounds in a row, and taking that previous one convincingly, not letting the bomb be planted, means they'll probably get another off the back of it. Looking at 13-9 most likely here before VP are able to get the guns out again, and they realize that they've called in a tactical pause. Again, this is the map choice of Hard Legion, so it won't be the end of the world for VP if they were to lose it, but it was looking pretty good for them at one point. So I think they will be a little bit disappointed by how this one has begun to slip away from them. But VP up next, they have chosen Inferno, one where they will be looking good for sure, and if needed, then Train. That's going to be the decider. So a fun map pool for sure.
You notice as VP went to push in towards B that there was still so much utility left in play for Hard Legion. All they used up was one flash to get into water in the first place. Then they left short control, so still not burning up any smokes or anything like that. I mean, they'd already blown the door off of connector, so there wasn't really much point in sticking around. It was very risky at that point. And when they're holding down in those positions then with the boost up so they know no one can come out con, as soon as they spot a player, mollies go down. Then there's smokes to play with, and they can just keep on delaying VP, waiting for it to be an A fake for any contact up there. And when it doesn't, when they eventually do start to push out, Rage makes his way down. But it makes it this much more sturdy hold because you've still got those two players A. So were VP to send 2B, make a little bit of noise, they bait out your utility eventually, but very late on into the round. When they push A, you could immediately rotate. You'd know that was happening. You'd still have your opera there. And if they don't, when there's 30, 40 seconds left, already that rotate is down. You saw Rage able to help out the teammates that were down below. They also avoided committing towards any aggressive fights around barrels or anything like that. Immediately, once the utility came over from VP, as I said, mollies down, then transitioning to smokes, and everyone fell back into water, just delaying for the A rotates. It was fantastic. A really solid setup by them.
Indeed, that's what I went. That's what I had even mentioned. I was saying these players in the pit were doing a really good job at delaying after Rage had rotated away, but they ended up just finding all the kills on top of it as well. So they done pretty much as good as they possibly could have. The B push again going to be coming in, and it is relatively passive. You have PC up close, playing on the back of the bomb site, which is a very dangerous position. The Tech9 closes in the distance. He's wondering where has that AK gone. I'm also wondering where is that AK gone. It's on short, unfortunately, so it's up in a position where the CTs can see it. Trying to boost in towards the spawn. Kicker nearly caught them. But instead, we see a couple kills being pulled back by Hard Legion. It is the man advantage again, being obtained by them. Sanji does hit a nice shot on the deagle there towards Crad. But now being low, it is going to be tough for him to get much more done. He will be peeking, and with that, Sviaf finds the kill. They tried to just swing in together. That was obviously the best way to approach that situation right there, with one player trapped in the pit, with him being low as well. But in the end, it isn't enough from VP. Again, just a half investment there. But with the previous round having had at least 5 surviving for the CTs, it doesn't impact their economy enough for it to actually put them on a weaker buy. Obviously, they don't have much money left over, but they do have a bit on Sviat and Rage. How it's been going so far, VP, I just haven't shown us anything on this T side at all. Sanji slowed down a lot as well. I think he was like 15-7 at one point, if I remember correctly. When he had that MP9 with no armor, I believe.
It was actually back then, yeah, towards the last round. Steps being heard here as they fall back on short. It's going to make VP much more ready to push into toilets to get that control early on, now that they know that position's been left. But in fact, it doesn't. Sanji's still clear in every corner, just in case they've left one aggressive. Moving back down, connected towards that B bomb site. Crad, he is so aggressive. 2 players were watching. Luckily not punished. No one swinging out afterwards, being baited into the upper of Rage, who was sat down. Well, eventually they are. Buster swings and gets taken down, and that is going to put it on a 5 versus 4 VP with a man disadvantage to work with. Rage repositioning to watch toilets, and ba-boom, there's another free kill.
Yeah, 5 on 3. Oh, okay. I was just saying, we're not really seeing VP being able to find any openings. James does end up burning Crad alive there as he was trying to get the smoke down so he could escape the molly, but wasn't able to do so quite in time. So it gives an opening into this round now for VP, but they're moving on towards A. There is still 2 players, or rather 3 players in position, including Svia, who's up close. He gets 1, does considerable damage to James, makes it easier for Forrester as he comes in and picks up 2. 14-9. Hard Legion are just going insane here on the CT side. It's been 8 rounds in a row now. There's been a few close rounds, but overall they've been quite convincing. Surviving with 3 in 4 of the rounds out of 8, surviving with 5 in 1, surviving with 4 in the other. The only close rounds have come down to a 1-on-1, and then the round with 2 surviving, obviously in that one before there for the CT side. So yeah, Hard Legion, they are looking much, much better here. And obviously when you take into account that they, at one point, were down 7-1, this has been a tremendous performance from them. A tremendous comeback.
100%. All the mistakes made in those first couple of buy rounds, they still end up in a decent T half, and then come into the CT and just completely lock VP out. Not what I'd seen coming. They were worrying me quite a lot. The mistakes didn't look to be repaired at any point, but moving on to the CT side, they did. Crad sticks around a little bit too long with that Molotov, and it doesn't delay them by much, considering they still have all their utility, dropping a smoke, and now moving forward. Rage locked out of this bomb site. Kinky at least recovers a kill down towards B, but this is Rage with the op in a close range duel. They're leaving him unchecked, and he goes above to drop the bomb. Dances back around the bomb site for another angle, but another angle is exactly what Buster was able to find to take him down and put Hard Legion on the back foot.
Yeah, at least delayed by that bomb plant, but they do still have a man advantage here on the VP side of things. So Sviat and Kinky, it is going to be very difficult for them to recover this one, and not having a lot of money as well does mean that they could consider saving. They do have, especially Rage with some in the reserve. Forrester could buy for himself in the next, but they are going to go forward. They're going to see what they can find here. Sviat flashed over, which allowed for him to cross towards the truck, but Kinky coming in from bank is likely to be shut down. Okay, they do manage to combine on him, not expecting that other player to be already pushed up, but Sviat has no idea that James was playing up close left on short right there, so he just pops up spots. Sviat focused on bathrooms and has himself an easy headshot. That is finally VP being able to put a round on the board here on the T side after, what, 9 rounds in a row if you include that previous half as well, with the final round of the first half going over towards Hard Legion. So it had been a while since we've seen them find any victory, but there it is. Maybe now that's what they need, just a bit of an opening to start building their way back into this one. And obviously, if they do get this round here, then there is no money left for Hard Legion. So at that point, they're going to be finding another round easily off the back of it, most likely.
VP have held on by a thread Their first buy round under their belt. But still lots more left for them to do. Hard Legion are not down and out by any means. The 8 rounds in a row on the CT side at least. Let's put them in a position where they can afford to lose this and take an eco and still obviously be in a pretty damn good spot for VP. This time they're shifting their attention down towards that B bomb site. You can see the bomb just outside of it, but they have left Buster and Sanji out lurking, waiting for any aggression to come through. They've got plenty of utility as well on both of those players. Buster currently deploying a lot of it towards long, keeping his molly, but they're already pushed out on B, excuse me, so they're going to need to hurry down. And Kickered and a Trend, never mind, they just open up the bomb site completely. I thought Buster was going to sell a fake, but instead, no, they just run out on B and take the kills. Fair enough.
Yeah, that may have been the goal, but I guess finding those openings so easy. Buster instead now just left as a lurker so that he could cut off any potential savers, and that likely is to be an opportunity he'll find quite soon. Pushing forward, though, we see one player over on long. Instead, the T is moving in on Batrooms. Rage jump peeking on the bomb site is about to be spotted any moment now, but he does take one with him already. Taking out Buster, Sviat gonna help by dropping Sanji, and at this point, they can't really afford to lose any more players, but Adren has taken down the op, so he wants to commit to making sure it won't be retrieved. But Sviat gets the kill. Is he going to be able to get the... Oh, it got blown away with a bomb, did it?
It did. It did indeed.
The bomb's down on B, so would it got blown upwards as well? Probably, like, went miles
out of the
away.
map. It could have went just over the railing out of the map, yeah.
Even, yeah. Because I didn't see it anywhere around him there while he was looking.
That is very unlucky. 11 rounds on the board for VP, though, and you look at how that round played out. Buster... I'm presuming the idea there. So Buster's playing over towards long. He pops off smokes. He's throwing his flashbangs. He's telling them that he's in that position. Then, at almost the same time, VP push out of Monster. They're wide out. They're throwing utility. They're also giving presence. That just causes a lot of confusion for Hard Legion. Do they rotate down to B? Do they rotate A? Which one is a fake? What's happening? Because it's not like it was the A flashes and then a few minutes later, 20 seconds later, it was B. It was like simultaneous, just an assault on all fronts. There was also utility being thrown on short by Sanji. So the players on A, they can't go down and help their teammates. And even after 2 to 3 players are spotted on B, it's only when they see the bomb that they can move. Because until that point, they're not sure. Maybe the bomb's just about to come up short. And by the time that they knew the bomb was on B, well, they'd already lost their whole defense. And it turned into a save. And although they managed to carry 2 weapons forward, like you said, they lost the op as well. This is a big downside for Hard Legion and a really difficult round to recover. I like the initiative to go for the boosts, the double boosts. They're watching down below. And then obviously the player that's up on top of the wall, is it Sviat, is looking for any connector pushes. And more than likely, if they don't find contact, or at least kills, they will just save. If possible, both rifles, or if one of them dies, then this isn't going to actually result in a save, because Sanji takes one. Crad needs to win the duel, and he gets it. That's really valuable. Another rifle, and one of the teammates might be able to make it there to pick it up.
Look at Rage. I was going to say he's in towards the barrels. If they hadn't have cleared it, he would have had a huge opportunity to try and catch one off guard, but unfortunately it doesn't work out for him. That final M4 of Sviat getting 1 kill, doing some damage, but that is all that's allowed. Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate that they didn't have a player who was able to retrieve that weapon in towards connector either. The only player who had been actually around that position alongside, I believe it was Kinky, was of course someone with a USP, and he went down initially with the peak. So would have been handy if they hadn't lost that player, because then suddenly they would have had another rifle. They would have had the ability to rotate back in with those 2 weapons from connector and be ready to hold down that B push. But with that being an eco from the CTs, I don't think they're too worried. But the issue is their buy coming into this round isn't too great either. I mean, they're getting what they can. So far, we're seeing the rifles, the kind of basics in terms of the nades being pulled out with some smokes, some flashes, a molly there onto Sviat as well. We see an MP9 eventually having to be pulled out by Kinky so he can get the nades and a kit as well, just to give them that, because otherwise they wouldn't have had a defuse kit. So this is not a great buy. If this doesn't go the way of Hard Legion, suddenly we're looking at 14 to 14.
Yeah, what I was thinking might happen in the previous was Forrester, because he had a USP. He went down to B from the A site. I thought he might push short, go connector, and pick up the rifle, but
it would have been so long as well, though. Yeah.
But exactly, I was thinking they would try to save the weapons, but
that really would have helped with this buy.
Haven't had the 1-for-1 trade. They decided to risk it, go for the round, and it is that. It's a risk. It doesn't bolster your economy nearly as much as had you carried 2 AKs through, but Hey, you got to do what you got to do. On 14-12, I would have been a fan of that very safe play, concede the round and save 2 weapons that are impossible to buy now because of one-shot headshots. But anyways, 14-12 moving forward. Look at this split by VP. Adren comes up behind with a double, and Sanji quickly dispatches Fiat. With that, the round is pretty much over. Even with Crad taking down Buster. Smoked out in heaven, bomb will be planted. Nothing they can do about that. And Crad is about to walk down Con right into a player waiting for him. James tucked in the right corner as he comes out. They need a kill in the next 5 seconds or they save.
Yeah, no, this is done. I'm surprised Rage is far, but he's good to be spotted. He lives through that exchange. Yeah, if he can back away now, that's the save. Crad gone already. Crad's still around connector for now, but I doubt he stays much longer either. As you said, the time no longer really making it too plausible that they would be able to make that retake happen. There was a kid dropped somewhere from Kinky, I believe, but even then, not really wanting to move for it. Instead, the 2 rifles are going to be carried into this next round, which is probably only going to have those 2 rifles to work with unless they want to drop over. I mean, it's obviously a possibility. Yeah, Kinky has a bit of money, so he could buy for himself. You could then see weapons being dropped, at least one from Crad, depending on which M4 Rage has. I'm not sure. He could maybe drop one as well. Kinky's bought for himself anyway. He's given the M4 over to Sfia, actually. That's an interesting choice. He's going to go for just the Deagle. And he's not going to spend the rest. Okay, so they've managed to balance this out in a way that they do have the 3 rifles, obviously getting a 3rd one on top of the 2 saved ones, and have got a pistol. Have got pistols on the other players alongside Kevlar on 1 and a few nades also, and have kept themselves plenty to buy in this next round. So yeah, this is actually a pretty good position to be in. Obviously, not really in terms of the fact that VP have started pulling this back into a winnable spot, but at least in this round, they've given themselves a good chance to still try and do something in this round.
Especially with the early nades that went through, softening up some of these players. Crad in with a double, fading out of toilets. Now he is being lurked on. Adren's going to fade through and take him down 100%. But that double opening, combined with Buster's low HP from the nades earlier on, that is huge for Hard Legion. The pistols can actually do some damage. Kinky or Rage might be able to one-shot Buster, and Sfiat and... Sorry, Kinky and Forrester. And Sfiat and Rage, they stand a pretty good chance versus the other 2 AKs.
This has been slowed down from VP, realizing that they are in a bit of trouble because they do know at least one more weapon is in play off the back of Rage being able to save in that previous round. The one from Sfiak could still be a little bit of a surprise for them, though, I think. Yeah, Rage finds that contact there on towards A. At this point, they might think that that's the only rifle that's in the hands of the CTs. Obviously, they'll be surprised once that flank comes up through connector to catch them off guard, or will it even be needed? Yeah, it will eventually get the pounce. Forrester found Kickerts. Fiat, he comes in from behind, and Rage ends it. Then that was just convincing. They sweeped up the final few kills in the space of a couple of seconds. As I said, having a really good setup with the 2 players stacked on towards A, and then as soon as they found contacts, Fiat was just able to pop up connector, and with that, frag for free pretty much. 15-13, Hard Legion, they steal away what was just kind of the half investment. Going for the 1 rifle and a couple pistols behind what they had saved, and with that have put themselves on the map point. 2 rounds in a row is what VP need to confirm an overtime, and they have to do it, or at least they have to do the first of those, with a buy that could be better.
Without a doubt. I love Hard Legion's approach to the previous round as well. As soon as the molly's not going down, over towards middle early on, you're seeing VP try to go through playground, and those nades over were just so precise. 2 of them lighting Buster and Kickert for 50 HP each, or close to. It just makes it so much easier for Crad. Then when he took the fight, Kickert was one of those first players around the corner, giving him the chance to basically 2-hit him to death and then go on, transfer onto the other player very early on in the spray. That's a massive advantage. And a large part of why he walked away with those 2 kills. Had he have taken even the second longer to kill Kickert, Buster probably would have gotten the trade, because you saw that they had an engagement that Crad was quickly able to back out of, even though he was taken down by Adren afterwards. He might not even have gotten the second kill. With 2 rounds to go for VP to take it to an OT. Like you said, it's definitely a weaker buy, Dean, and Hard Legion, they haven't been shown a whole lot of weakness on this CT side, it's got to be said. For a map that started out terribly for them, and I don't just mean score-wise. You know, you can see 7-2 happen any day, but they had opportunities to win rounds, and they looked lost. But now they're warmed up, and they're not making those silly mistakes anymore. I'd be worried if I was VP.
I mean, even as you mentioned, they got 5 kills in the first 5 rounds.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that kind of shows you how it started off our hardline on this one, but they were able to recover massively, for Hard Legion, sorry. Crad able to find that one there on a Dren who was bouncing around on mid. Unfortunately, he didn't expect Buster to follow up so quickly through the long bathroom, so he does get traded. He knows there's a couple players now who have taken over this mid control, so they've gone ahead and just positioned Sviat on the bomb site. But they are still gambling this B stack for the moment, and it looks like it probably will be the correct decision. As I said it though, Forrester, I believe that is, that's beginning to move back up now. But they've still got Rage and Kinky. The smoke going to go down, should be able to delay a bit as well. And actually, as Monster's smoked off, they're all just going to group up towards short.
Nice shot by Rage. Molly down immediately. That's going to split the T's, and Rage just destroying them. Kinky with a double spray down to close it out. The team that was down 7-2 and had a very weak start